Hey, this is Reviews and Other Stuff, and today I'll be reviewing the new musical comedy Lyle, Crocodile. It stars Constance Wu, Javier Bardem, Scoot McNairy, Winslow Fegley, and Shawn Mendes as Lyle. As always, my review will be illustrated and the artwork is done by myself. The film is directed by Josh Gordon and William Speck. They've worked on a few comedies before, from Office Party to Blades of Glory. This is a non-spoiler review, so everything I discuss will have been shown in the trailer. Absolutely no spoilers. I'll tell you briefly about the plot, the characters, my pros and cons, final thoughts, and if this is worth checking out at your local movie theater. As seen in the trailer, Winslow Fegley plays Josh Prim, who has recently moved to Manhattan. Him and his family are having challenges getting adjusted to their new neighborhood. So one day, Josh discovers a crocodile living in the attic, and the two quickly become friends. But the entire family soon discovers Lyle as well, including his magical gift for singing. In addition, there's someone who wants Lyle out of the picture. And on top of that, Lyle's original owner, played by Javier Bardem, conveniently shows up, and so the madness begins. Now, when I saw this trailer, I knew I was going to watch this film. I liked the whole vibe, and I thought it would be interesting to watch because of the musical component and the fact that the songs are from the same musical team behind The Greatest Showman. My gut instinct did not fail me on this one. So I'm going to get right to the point and let you know I was pleasantly surprised, and I rather enjoyed this film a lot. Sometimes you just want to watch an upbeat film where you don't have to use your brain, solve a riddle, or watch anything depressing, and this movie does the trick. And that's actually one of the first things that I really enjoyed is the tone of the film. It's very kid-friendly and bursting with positive energy, and it is able to carry that momentum throughout the film. Each of the characters are going through their own personal issues after arriving in New York City, and things change upside down after meeting Lyle. And not to give anything away, but he has a particular influence on each of the characters. My second pro is this pretty much is a musical, and just like The Greatest Showman, it has musical numbers sprinkled throughout. And I thought as a film with musical aspects to it, it worked really well versus a film like Rent or Les Mis, which didn't. The music producers and songwriters did an excellent job of creating musical tracks specifically for this film, and it all ties in nicely into the film and each of the characters with their own personal stories. The songs are just very catchy as well. It was also nice to hear Javier Bardem and Constance Wu sing. They all did an amazing job because I never knew they could sing. Of course, the standout MVP here is Sean. I think he was an excellent choice to be Lyle's singing voice, and after seeing this film, it's really hard to picture any other singer in their 20s that's really popular right now playing this role. Sean has a very sweet innocence in his voice. He's able to bring a lot of warmth and tenderness along with a range of emotions through his singing. There are a few tracks here where it starts off as a ballad, but it soon picks up to be a mid-tempo track, and during the slow portions where it is a ballad, you get such a warm, fuzzy feeling and welcoming atmosphere in his voice when he brings the lyrics to life. He really does add a lot of heart to the songs. My third pro is the entire cast. They're great, and I thought their performances were really good. The actor who plays Josh does a good job, and he never came off annoying. When it comes to child actors, they really are a hit or miss, but he does a good job here. And even when it came to his emotional scenes, I felt he was able to bring up those emotions and they translated naturally on screen. Now, this isn't a con per se, but because this is a family film, it's not deep and philosophical with heavy self reflection and introspection, so keep in mind that Constance and Scott don't get much to do. They're just playing husband and wife here. But with a film like this and its fantasy level premise, I don't think it hinders the film in any way. My next pro is the special effects. I thought they were well done for the most part. I mean, you can pretty much tell which ones are all CGI from Lyle to the cat and so on, but for the most part, it didn't bother me. But there were many instances where I wish they did use practical effects because Lyle is really heavy CGI, and it would have been nice to see some sort of animatronic or a man in a crocodile suit just to give it a bit more realism because when you see Lyle, you can clearly tell he's not something that you can physically touch. So that was my only gripe. My next pro is I like the friendship building in this film. I like what Lyle represents to each character within the film in their own way. I think it has a very strong positive message about friendship, acceptance, and what being different is like, and how coming out of our shell can come from the most unexpected of places. So, this is my next is not really a con, and I don't want to spoil anything, but Lyle's character in the film doesn't talk, he just sings. And I was really torn on this because I wish Sean got scenes where in the film where he was able to speak. I think it would have added another layer to his character, but at the same time, I think what makes this film work so well is that he's a silent character and everything is conveyed through him musically and through his facial expressions. The special effects team did such a great job at pulling at your heartstrings because La's only able to express his sadness and sorrow through his facial expressions, and they do such a great job when it came to those emotional scenes. So my only real con that I have for this film is that the film sort of has two villains, and I feel like one of the villains gets off with a free pass, and I sat there asking myself if the person really earned that free pass or not. I also think some of the conflicts that pop up in this film get easily resolved conveniently. It's not a huge con, and given this is a kids' film, it seemed to work in its favor. So this brings me to my final thoughts, and this film gets a solid 7 out of 10 for me. This is one of those feel-good movies that puts a smile on your face. It knows what it is and never tries to deviate from that. It's good, clean, wholesome family fun for the entire family, and I feel there aren't many options out for kids right now at the movie theater, so I highly recommend this movie. It actually reminded me a lot of the Disney animated films from the 1990s during their glory days because of the musical numbers and how everything was weaved together perfectly. I saw this at a really late showing after 10 o'clock, and there were a few kids in the theater with their parents, and they were cheering for Lyle throughout the film. They really enjoyed the music, and I think you'll have the same infectious feeling when you see this film. It's lighthearted fun with some tender moments that will pull on your heartstrings, and you'll find yourself shedding a tear or two. It has such positive energy and a subtle way of celebrating the theme of what it's like to be an outsider and finding a way to celebrate individualism. So check this out at your local movie theater and send them some love. You'll definitely find yourself rooting for Lyle and the rest of the cast with your pink fuchsia colored pom poms all the way because the cast is just so darn charming and lovable. And plus, the songs are catchy and filled with heart, and it'll get stuck in your head for sure. Now, I hope you enjoyed this review. If you like, please subscribe. Helps the channel out a lot. Hit that thumbs up button and feel free to share this with your friends. I try to make a video once a week if I can. Thanks so much for checking out my review. Leave your comments below, and I hope the pictures put a smile on your face.